back from the dead.
Was that too dramatic? I don't know. Either way, I love zombies. I had to do one for this Halloween. This one I wanted to do a little bit more like Walking Dead kind of zombie. So I covered my whole face and all kinds of shit, and this is what it turned out to be. So to get started, I'm making my teeth using the Instamorph moldable plastic, and you just, rip it open, make sure you have protection because the water is going to be hot. But I just poured some into the hot water, and then that's when I added too much. You need less than you think that you need, and you just leave it in there until it turns clear, and then you can pull it out. Make sure it's cool and it doesn't burn you, and you're going to roll this into a little sausage. You're going to mold this on your teeth, so make sure you press very, very hard to be sure that it's molding every crevice of your teeth. And then there's your mold. You're going to do the same thing to make your bottom teeth mold. You can leave out one or the other. I wanted to have a full mouth. You could just do the fronts, but like I said, I wanted to do the full mouth. So I did some more of the plastic and then mushed it into our mold while it was still moldable and clear. And once it hardened a little bit, I just pulled it out, and boom, you have perfect shaped teeth. Now for the face work, I'm taking my liquid latex, and I'm going to use just a cosmetic sponge to put this on my upper lip and start adding on some cotton. I just kind of pulled it together. I just got cotton balls, and you want to be sure to use all disposable stuff when adding your liquid latex, because if you use a brush, it will be ruined. So I'm just putting my teeth on so I can kind of see how much I need to build this up. So you're basically just going to do liquid latex, cotton, and then more liquid latex to seal it, and then you can repeat the process if you need to continue building. Now I'm just brushing through my eyebrows, and then I am using a glue stick to push them all the way up in the direction that they grow, and then we're going to powder it to set. Now I'm going to be putting liquid latex on top of mine, so I decided to do a few more layers of this so that when I ripped off my liquid latex, it did not take my eyebrows with it. And I'm just using any powder. This one is a translucent powder, and it needs to look something like this. So now I'm taking my cosmetic sponge again and my liquid latex, doing the same process, adding on the cotton and then sealing it in with more liquid latex. And I'm building around my eye socket area, just where you can feel your cheekbones and everything, to build that area up like our face is sinking in and our bones are sticking out. And this is very messy, so just be sure that you don't have anything on that you care about. Now I'm taking a gelatin mixture. I will link a video below of how to make it, but it's very simple. This stuff is very stinky. You have to be sure it's not too hot, that it won't burn your skin. But I use this to give a more skin-like appearance, and it also helped me to blend the edges of where we added the cotton. I decided to go super dead with this, so I started adding some to the rest of my face, making little cuts with this plastic spatula, and kind of flicking the product while it's still drying to create texture. I also did a technique of just kind of letting it drip off my face a little bit to create different textures. I also added some down the neck, which ended up falling off later. I'm building up around the mouth a little bit more, and I'm also connecting the mouth to the face with some more liquid latex to be sure everything is locked into place. Now I'm taking my perfectly little shaped chiclet teeth, like my fiance says, and I'm going to be making a pocket to fit them in. So I'm pulling away some of that bottom lip cotton just to make a little pocket for that teeth mold to fit into. So I'm just fitting that in there, being sure that it's kind of comfortable, that I can still live my life a little bit. Just pushing that in there and then adding some liquid latex with a Q-tip down in there, and it will seal everything in. I'm taking more of my gelatin, and I'm going to seal around the mouth and also create a lip on the upper lip as well. I dabbed in certain spots and pulled away and dabbed again just to make kind of like little tendons, and I just wanted it to be very textured and look just like rotting flesh all over my whole face. When something is lighter than your face and you want it to match your skin color, you're going to add a darker foundation first. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just adding a darker foundation. This one in particular dries to a more matte finish, which is perfect. So just coating that throughoutly, and then I'll go in with a lighter foundation, and this will just end up being my skin tone, which is paper white and perfect for being a dead zombie. Making sure you hit those eyelids as a primer for the shadows that we're going to be doing as well. Now I'm going in with these grayish, purplish colors to start working in some shadows into my face, just where the contours are, especially underneath these brow bones. Just anywhere that you think there would be a natural shadow casted on your face. I'm now going in with some water activated paints, and I'm taking this kind of mustard dark yellow shade and just starting to work this on my face and on my neck, just so I start getting a more like visual for this zombie look before I start doing more contouring. Don't forget to hit your ears and also anywhere else that's going to be visible when you wear your costume. Also, I'm taking a light gray shade just to do some highlighting, mostly on the kind of eyebrow and cheekbones. And then I went in with a different paint set from Wolfe and took this darker gray shade just to start working into the face too. I just mostly use yellows, grays, a little bit of green, brown, and just like using a bunch of different colors to make this dead rotting flesh look. For our gum color, I'm mixing a white and a red water activated paint just to make this pink shade, and then I added a little bit of brown into the mix just to make it a little bit more grungy. You have to remember, this is a zombie. So I went in with just kind of normal organic colors and then went in with darker, grungier stuff. So the zombie obviously isn't going to have these perfectly white teeth, so we definitely wanted to grunge those up. I used the kind of dark yellow and then went around the edges of the teeth and also up into the gums, fading it with a brown and a red, just mixing different shades to get the color that I wanted and to make it look like this zombie has just been through it. I also added some cavities. I was having way too much fun with this, guys. And then to make sure that you don't lose any kind of depth for the teeth, you want to add some kind of lighter highlights. So I mix a white with our yellow just to add this in places where the light would hit. I'm adding more green into this look because I wanted it to have more green, so I'm adding this NYX shadow with no rhyme or reason, just in certain areas. I'm going back in with this grayish purplish shade to start creating some depth in the contours of that gelatin to really make it pop out. This did take a while, but it's well worth it. I started creating more depth with a brown eyeshadow in the upper crease area, as I would normally say, and also added that into the contours of my face just to make it look a little bit more sunken in. All details kind of count. Putting that into my receding hairline, and then a little bit of contours under that double chin. I'm adding more colors onto my chest and neck, going in with just the mustard yellows, a little bit of green, a little bit of brown, some grays, also some maroon colors to kind of look like veins. Just play with it until you like the way that it looks. And then I went in with a maroon eyeshadow to create some under eye bags, because that's kind of like my favorite thing. It's like making yourself look like dead. That's how I look on a Monday morning pretty much. And just adding that color around the mouth as well, just to start creating some depth. I mixed more of the white and red water activated paint to make a light pink shade just to do highlights around the mouth. And then to highlight the tendons and other places on the high points of the face, I'm just taking a light gray water activated paint and just dusting this with a fluffy brush. That way it's not too harsh. This will just create even more dimension. I wanted to be a lot grungier, so I ended up adding a gel liner around my eyes to really deepen things up, and I also kind of dragged whatever was left on my brush down the sides of my nose just to darken things up and create more shadows. This is going to be a nighttime look, so I just knew that that would really set it off. Also added more of that maroon eyeshadow underneath my eyes. just to make things look more tired and dead. I'm adding more highlight with a more finer brush onto even more areas on the face. This does take time, so if you have the time, I would definitely do this. It does make a difference. And if you do little dots around the mouth, it kind of looks like wet saliva, which is cool. So this is what it looks like when you're done doing all like the highlighting and contouring. Just gives a lot more dimension to the looks and looks a lot creepier. Yes. Now, no zombie out there is blood free, so we're definitely going to take some just coagulated blood or scab blood, whichever, and just adding this to different parts. I didn't want to go too crazy with the blood, and I'm just adding this to some of those hanging parts from the gelatin and on a few parts on the mouth. I did so much detail on this look, I did not want to cover it up with blood. And also be sure to cover your lips on the inside of this mouthpiece with some black gel liner. You want to use a waterproof one as well. So this is the final look, guys. I hope that you like it. I fucking love it, and I think it's amazing. If you like it, be sure to share it with your friends and possibly do it for Halloween. I'd love to see your looks. Be sure to watch the bloopers. It's probably the funniest thing I've seen all year. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.
You have to use my used sweet tea straw.
Ew, ew, ew.
Put it in my butt, so
Ew, ew, ew.
it tastes funny. That's why.
I can't even fucking do this. Can't close my mouth. You made me drool on our teeth paint when I choked.
I didn't make you do nothing. It's not my fault you can't swallow.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh my god.
Hey! Alright.
Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, I ruined that. How's my hair?
Yes.
The car's not even on. I'm sucking in.
Oh, that's kind of hard. This is heavy. Son of a bitch!
Looks so cool.
Shit!